The 2012 Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation Hall of Fame inductees are Bill Bridgeforth, Rick Evans, and Whit Stevens Jr., along with the men and women who have shaped the future of wildlife and habitat management in our state. The names of this year's inductees will forever be placed among those who have made a positive and lasting impact on our natural environment. These three men served on the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission together, and the hallmark of their accomplishments center on the teamwork they built and supported. From the team, Bill Bridgeforth served as co-chair of the committee to pass the 1/8 cent sales tax, to the incredible passion for turkeys Rick Evans shared with everyone, to Whit Stevens' leadership in white-tailed deer management. Our three inductees put teamwork as the cornerstone of their efforts. Today, more than $500 million has been raised for the commission through the sales tax. And Bill helps credit fellow Hall of Famers, former AFGC Director Steve Wilson, Parks and Tourism Director Richard Davies, and Heritage Department Director Kathy Matthews for gaining the statewide support needed. Rick Evans not only shared his love for turkey hunting with the young people of the state, but through his leadership, more conservative practices were adopted by the commission to manage our abundance of turkeys. And Whit Stevens, through the discussion of the need for science over tradition, helped enhance the white-tailed deer population by supporting the introduction of the three-point rule for bucks and encouraging the harvesting of deer for the purposes of herd management. The population is balanced, and racks are larger and more plentiful. And now, a few minutes in conversation with our 2012 inductees.
When we were on the commission, we struggled with license sales going down, and really we're searching for ways to get more youth involved in hunting and fishing. The Nature Centers was one of the early on efforts to reach those kids. Now the youth shooting sports programs that they have going in the schools, as well as the archery programs, are doing that. That's a phenomenal program that's reaching more kids than we ever thought we could.
I don't know how many people realize, we sell more hunting licenses in Arkansas than they do, for example, in California or Georgia. We are a state that considers the outdoors at the very heart of our being, really.
Game and Fish was funded only by license sales, and basically, guys, we were broke. We didn't have a whole lot of money to equip our people to work with. This was something that we really needed, that could afford us to do the things we needed to do to protect and preserve this resource, or conserve this resource, for a long, long time.
It seems like today we get bombarded with negative news, and that's what gets the press, and we forget the commission reintroduced the black bear, the most successful reintroduction of a large carnivore here in Arkansas. We have an elk season. We have probably the best trout fishing that you can have anywhere, world records, outstanding duck hunting. What all that contributes to the quality of life for the citizens of Arkansas is just immeasurable. We owe a lot of that to Amendment 35, which was established and gave autonomy to the commission to manage those resources and to not bow to negative publicity or pressures when they needed to make a tough call.
And that was a hard thing to do too for us, was to try to give the people as much opportunity as we possibly could, and at the same time protect the resource. And it was a difficult thing to do in many cases. White-tailed deer was just coming out of the woodwork, so we had to figure out ways to handle that problem with the deer. Come up with the three-point rule and killing does and killing more, because our numbers were so skewed in deer. At that time I think we were killing 110,000 deer in Arkansas. This was in 95, 96, along about then. And 90% of those deer were bucks, and of that 90%, about 70% were only 1.5-year-old deer. We were trying to figure out a way to look out for the health of the deer herd.
A lot of people don't realize this, but Arkansas has more land for public hunting than Texas does, for example. We're one of the top, I think, 5 or 6 states in the nation in terms of land that is available free of charge to the people of this state to hunt and fish. We have, if you count over 3.5 million acres of federal land in Arkansas with roughly 1 million acres of land, I think that the commission, that the people of Arkansas own, that the commission manages, we have a huge percentage of our land mass that is available free of charge.
What really means the most to me is the time that I get to spend with family and friends in the outdoors. That's the special ones for me. And in the past few years, I've gotten to see my kids start becoming interested in the outdoors and taking their first deer, first turkeys, ducks, and seeing their friends come along and do the same thing, go with us, and enjoy that. That's what means most to me.
One of my experiences that I think about is the first time I went duck hunting. I'd never been before. We went to a place outside of Forest City where I grew up called Beatty Lake. And I talked to my dad, and he was gracious enough to buy me a Mossberg 20 gauge bolt action with a poly choke, and I thought I was Daniel Boone. But we went to Beatty Lake in our old gum hip boots and froze to death, and we were able to kill 3 mallards, and it was the beginning of a lifetime of absolute joy.
So I'd been on the commission for 3 or 4 months there. It was the first morning of turkey season. And I had roosted this turkey the night before, which I had done many, many times before. Knew the tree the turkey was in. I set up about 60 yards from him way before daylight. As things started to wake up that morning, it had a different meaning to me that morning. I had always been a taker. You know, I'd always been a hunter, a taker, a killer. And I had taken a lot of things for granted. But I had learned just in that short period of time from Steve Wilson and others on the Game and Fish, all the things that the Game and Fish Commission was responsible for. And as I sat there that morning and heard the world wake up around me, the owl hooting, the crow hollering, the squirrel barking, and all the bird sounds, just the world waking up that morning. And I was sitting there by this big white oak tree listening to all that, and that turkey gobbled out there when that owl hooted. And I thought to myself, what have I got myself into? Very, very lucky to be appointed with a group of men that were very intelligent and very passionate about the commission also. And just a wonderful time in my life. And I'm a different person for it. Like I told someone one time, my buddy Whit, I said, I knew how to kill them, but he taught me how to manage them. And I learned a lot from him and Bill. And Bill taught me a lot about people and how to deal with people. And that's such an important thing, is to get the support of the people across the state of Arkansas, to educate them, like Whit said a while ago. But I found out that if you do right and you give them as much information as possible and tell them why you're doing things, the hunters and fishermen, they'll support you.
And now, the Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation Chairman Bobby Martin spends a few more minutes with our inductees.